If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Alright, so here we are on the Cursed Hollow. Let's take a look at the blue team, which is going to be with the Zeratul, Falstad, Tyrael, Jaina, and Johanna. The enemy team, or red team, is going to sport a Vala, Kalthus, Diablo, Zeratul, and Sonja. So interesting matchups here today. For my level 1 talent, what I am going to be picking up is Knight Takes Pawn. If you're going for more like the all-out tank build, I would suggest Regeneration Master. I just don't feel like Reinforce, unless your enemy team is really auto-attack heavy, which actually with Zeratul and Vala, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But I'm going to show you the build that I use more often than not, even though Reinforce might be really good in this particular case. Enemy Diablo showing his face, but we're going to take Knight Takes Pawn. What that's going to allow me to do is my Condemn is now going to do way more damage to minion waves and mercenary camps. It makes clearing waves like this a lot more viable. There we go. And you can also use your Condemn to stop Sonya from doing things like spinning, so it's a great disrupt. Now, let's see if we have enough time to go over her abilities real quick. Her Q ability is Punish. She throws out her shield in front of her, doing a fairly significant slow to whoever she hits, as well as dealing damage. Her W ability is Condemn. That's what you saw me use just a minute ago, and what you'll see me use right here. Brings everybody towards you, kind of disrupting them. And then her E ability, which I just used, does some damage and blinds whoever it hit. Let's just step back away from Sonya, and you don't even have to use any abilities here. We can kind of just work on her. Her trait ability is Iron Skin, and what that does is I just used it. Let's actually pull her in, kind of, she's gonna run back. She's gonna run back? No. Okay. So what Iron Skin does is it gives you a pretty significant shield, as well as makes you unstoppable. So crowd control has no effect on you. Let's see if we can pull. Yeah, we're too slow. Another thing I would like to point out too about the shield glare, her E ability, is it has a super long range. So it works really well for knocking people off their mounts when they're getting away, perhaps getting that final little kill. Can we? Yeah. There we go. All right, we're not going to be able to get close enough to Sonya, but we can blind her, put a little bit of pressure on her, and the tribute will be coming up. Zeratul says 5 seconds, but it's not an exact science. It can actually take all the way up until 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So 5 seconds is a best guess. For level 4, I'm going to be picking up Laws of Hope. This is going to give me a heal over time. See if we can pull Sonya back in. There we go. Okay, we are going to have to just walk away, and I'm going to head up to the top lane where that tribute spawned. So yeah, the tribute spawns between like 2 minutes and about 3 minutes, just shy of 3 minutes. Let's come up here and see if we can zone out that enemy Diablo if he decides that he wants to go in on this. We're going to cast the slow on him. He's going to toss me into his tower, but it's just not going to do anything, is it, Diablo? It's just not going to do anything. We can pull these minions in. Like I said, Condemn, that level 1 talent, Knight Takes Pawn, is doing additional damage. Let's come here and focus on getting Kalthus kind of zoned out here, as we don't want him. Let's pop our trait. And then just kind of step back. I'm going to pop up my heal as well, keep myself as topped off as I can. I really would prefer to be focusing on Kalthus, as he is a much squishier target, but I'd be happy with Diablo. Oh, if only I had a tiny bit of mana to use my shield glare to take out that Diablo. We're going to stop, take a drink from our well, continue down here, and then work on finishing off that Zeratul with their shield glare. And we should be able to secure this tribute just fine, so I'm going to be heading down to... No, Sonya, you can't disrupt it. No, you can't. I'm going to head back down to the middle lane and start generating some XP. We are almost a level ahead of the enemy team, and we don't want to lose that advantage. So we'll just come right back down here, use our Condemn to get this lane cleared out. If you don't pick up Knight Takes Pawn, Condemn does barely anything against those minions. I mean, it just doesn't do anything, so... That's why I really like using it, especially on maps like this where I might be sitting in lane a lot more often, you know, than anything else. Let's go ahead and try to clear up this wave. I am going to have to go back and get some mana shortly. We're going to pop our trait. That Unstoppable really makes a big difference in situations like that, because I normally would have been slowed by Diablo's abilities there, but since I popped my trait, I no longer was slowed. what a perfect time to recall, as we're going to be able to get all of our mana back and head over to the tribute. So now for level 7, I'm not a big fan of battle momentum because I just feel like her auto attack is too darn slow. Let's get down in here and we'll think about that one. We're going to disrupt Sonya's spin and then start focusing on her. We should be able to take out both her and Diablo without a problem. And now start engaging on this Vala. See if we can actually catch her. I think we can. She just used her vault. We need to get my friendly team out of the way so we can catch up to her. The friendly body blocks are real. If you're in a situation where you have a friendly team member on a mount behind you and you're not on a mount, just get out of their way so they can catch the hero in front of you. So for level 7, Conviction, I don't really mind this at all. It gives you a movement speed buff for just about a second. So when you cast Condemn, it gives you that movement speed buff, which really can help out. But what I like to take is, Sonya, I'm a little busy talking to the people of YouTube here, and you're just sitting here bugging me. We'll step back here. Zeratul is going to come in and try to do a little bit of damage, but we are going to pull him in and push him back. I'll pop my trait and just step away. And take a drink from the well before we head down to this next tribute. I'm going to be picking up the Crusade Marches On. Abilities are going to reduce the cooldown of my trait. My trait is what is going to help me stay alive and get out of bad situations. We are level 10 right now. Alright, where is everybody? We can kind of hold them off for a little bit here. I'm going to be picking up Blessed Shield. I think it's definitely the better heroic. You basically throw out your shield. Bye, Vala. You throw out your shield like Captain America. It bounces off two enemy heroes like this and stuns them both, securing those kills. And now we're going to be working on Diablo. However, I see that Kelthus, and that Kelthus is who I want. So we're just going to move right past Diablo if we can. Use the shield glare to knock Kelthus off his mount. But he's going to be able to get away, unfortunately. And I guess I could just pick up this camp. Oh, yeah, Kelthus, you want to go? Alright, I was hoping to bait him into coming, but now it looks like Vala is going to be here as well, so let's just take a step back. We don't want to really be spending a bunch of time on a camp during our curse. The friendly team would like to pick up the boss. I don't know if that's really necessary. I'd really like to be able to get a little bit additional XP here from this curse. I mean, right now we are at a huge advantage in level-wise, so there's no reason to lose that by spending too much time grabbing the boss. Either situation's really good, though. I mean, I just don't like grabbing the boss unless we're sitting right there at curse. So if you secure the curse and you're right by the boss, I would say go for it. If you have to run out of your way to get to the boss when you just curse them, I would say ignore it. You can get a lot of pushing done without the boss. Too far away to do during curse. So, I mean, right now we're doing way more damage than we would with that boss. Let's see if we can come in here and grab the enemy Sonya. We are able to. We just don't have... We do not have anything. We might actually end up dying here. Yes, we will. Unfortunately, we went a little too deep. Wasn't paying attention to the curse counter, and that's what really screwed me up there. But if somebody can just go ahead and poke that middle fort, we're going to get 2 forts out of that curse. If we would have focused on the boss, we would have probably just got the bottom one at best. Perhaps we could have gotten both. It really just depends on team coordination. And in quick match, I prefer to go with the safe route a lot of times when it comes to quick match, because you just never know where everybody's going to be. I could have ran back to that boss, and it might have just been me and Falstad, and no one else showed up. So unless I'm real confident that the friendly team is going to show up to do something, I usually just try to, you know, do the next best thing, I guess. In that situation, it would have been pushing with the curse and not dying. We are level 13. Because there's a Kelthus on the other team, I think I'm going to be picking up Spell Shield. Spell Shield's something you probably should pick up at any point that you're dealing with the Kelthus, because that Flame Strike can hurt so much. Otherwise, Subdue is very good. It adds 20% extra to your slow. We'll come down here. We can actually... Nope. We can knock Kelthus off his mount, though, and just head up here, make him blow his crowd control on our minion wave. But yeah, we're going to go with Spell Shield. I like Burning Rage otherwise. It adds a little bit of damage to you. Johanna's damage is very lackluster. So anything you can do to add consistent damage usually is, is a good thing to do. But because of Kelthus, Spell Shield is probably the right choice here. That's going to help us stay alive a lot better. The enemy Vala is engaging. She is way out of position. And you see the range on that shield glare? I mean, I was nowhere near her, and I still managed to get that off. Let's see. We can just kind of step back here. It looks like the next tribute is going to be up in the top lane. Boy, it's really unfortunate that we had to fall in this match. You can usually stay alive pretty easily with Johanna. It looks like the enemy team is going to be coming in through the top. Oh, they're in there, huh? Okay, and they're now out of the Void Prison, so let's just see if we can take them down real quick. We'll finish off Diablo. We're going to throw our shield at Zeratul just to make sure he dies. And now we're going to engage on Kelthus here. Throw out the shield glare and the slow, and that will be enough to secure that kill. If things seem really easy, it's because they are. I mean, we are several levels ahead of the enemy team right now, which makes a big difference on how much damage we're outputting here. But we're going to pick up this boss. It looks like the enemy Vala is going to engage. We're going to use our Condemn to stop her heroic. So if you're against somebody like Vala who's doing a strafe heroic or a Nazebo with the Ravenous Spirit, Condemn will disrupt those heroics. So make sure that you're disrupting those and even saving Condemn for them to do those if you know they have that heroic. Let's see if we can come out, help out the friendly Tyrael and the boss, and we're just going to get stuck in this Void Prison, unfortunately. This is not a good idea. We need to back out of here. It's just Tyrael and I. Jaina's showing up. Yeah, probably not a good time anymore. Let's head on out of here. Sonya is going to miss the grab, so that we don't need to worry about that. And we are now level 16. Imposing Presence would probably be the best option here, but because we're so far ahead, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Blessed Hammer. I think this works pretty well for getting some additional damage. I mean, can't we grab the tribute first? I guess it doesn't matter. It actually will probably matter. We'll see how much damage we can output on this boss before that tribute spawns. It looks like quite a bit, considering we have Jaina and Zeratul. We are just wrecking this thing. And we're actually going to be able to pick up the boss and the tribute here. Diablo just now showing up. Let's come in here, try to pull him back a little bit. I'm gonna, uh-oh, get that out of here. Oh my God. So I unfortunately killed myself with the tab key. But it looks like actually the enemy team is probably going to get this tribute here. We definitely just got caught out of position. Zeratul, not fooling anybody, is going to drop to Vala most likely, although he is able to blink away. Why are you not going into your base? Zeratul is definitely going to die because for some reason he decided not to take cover in our fort where he would have been able to live. But the boss did actually make it all the way up to the keep since they contested that tribute. So, I mean, it did work out, definitely. But at the same time, the enemy team is also catching up in levels. They're catching up in XP now, though. Team White could turn the whole game around. So let's head up here to the tribute. Make sure that we don't give up another one of those for getting a little complacent. I mean, you can easily lose a game like this. As you can see, they've already caught up in levels. All right, here we go. It looks like the enemy Diablo's here. Vala, they're all here. So I'm going to step back because I don't know where the friendly team is. It looks like they're starting to show up. I'm trying to find that Kelthus, as we don't want him to just be poking in the background. So going to engage on him, see if we can finish off this Diablo, throw out the heroic, and pop our shield. And Tyrael is going to land a nice bomb, but I don't think it's going to be enough for me to kill him. Maybe, yes, it is enough to take down the enemy Kelthus, and now Sonya is going to be pinned between Falstad and I. Diablo coming in through my backside, however. Let's blind him and step out of there with our shield. Bye, Diablo. But now, yeah, he's not worth re-engaging with that much health. He's really not. I am going to just recall back home, get some of our health back. We were able to secure that tribute, so that worked out very well. And we were able to take down those kills pretty quickly as well. And let's see. I think now would be a decent time to pick up that Bruiser Camp Falstad was hoping to grab before that tribute spawned. The next one is certainly going to be... There, we'll gather these guys all up and throw them in to the blizzard. And there we go. And it looks like the next tribute is spawning, so hopefully we can secure that, get the curse, and start pushing down one of those keys. Once we get the keep down, the catapults will come into lane, and that will just put constant, continuous pressure on the enemy team. Tyrael and I are going to sit up here and just zone. Looks like the enemy team is going to be coming from a different few directions here. Let's throw out the shield. Unfortunately, something disrupted those guys. We do take down the enemy Kelthus, and we're just going to focus on enemy Vala and Sonya here. I don't think they realize how much of a disadvantage they're at. Diablo's still roaming around, causing some trouble. Let's see if we can get in there and finish that kill with their Q. And Falstad will pick up that tribute. Now we are going to get our curse. I'm going to come down here and try to get our the boss. There are no bosses up right now. Maybe he's talking about something else. Let's see if we can just come in here. We're going to throw down our shield glare, clear out that wave real quick. One thing that I'd like to note, too, on this map, when you're cursing an enemy team, something I think a lot of people forget is those minion waves still give you full experience when you kill them. So you definitely don't want to let that go to waste. And that's kind of why I don't like taking the boss, because look at all that free XP from one shield glare. When you grab the boss, you're missing out on all that free, easy XP. I'm going to be picking up Indestructible. So now if I get down to basically 0 health, let's just go ahead and stun Sonya here. It looks like the whole enemy team has respawned, but we are going to pop our shield, help out our buddy Falstad as he is being engaged by the enemy Zeratul. We should be able to take him down, no problem. Tyrael, however, is going to fall. I mean, as you can see, Jaina's back here slowly picking up camps or something. If we would have just engaged 5 people with the team, we probably could have done a little bit more damage. But getting a keep down is definitely worth it, in my opinion. I mean, that's enough damage to put consistent pressure on the enemy team. But like I said, they're only a level behind right now, so there is absolutely no reason they can't come back and win this match. All they have to do is, like a situation like this, wipe us out. And okay, this is not good. This is not good at all. Let's see. I'm going to actually try to come around here and expose Vala and Kelthus, but now we're probably going to die. Let's throw out our shield to give ourselves a little bit of room here. We do have our indestructible talent, which I did not go over. What that does is when I go down to 0 HP, I'm going to get a shield for all of my health that lasts for 5 seconds, which you're going to see in just a second here, maybe. They're still having some trouble taking me down. There's my indestructible talent, so now all I have to do is get back here safely, and there we go. So indestructible is like a second, yeah, that's part of the problem with trying to grab a boss. And we actually, let's pull our shield here, pull them back into the mix. I think I'm just going to recall. Holy crap, Zeratul in here, though. He could be causing me some trouble. He is going to throw me in a void prison. I don't know why they're pinging him. It's certainly not worth me dying over, that's for sure. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer, however, and... Oh, no, you're not getting away so easily. Not getting away so easily. We'll get him. We'll get him. We know he's in here somewhere. Alright, I think we lost him, unfortunately. I'm surprised the Blessed Hammer didn't pick him up there. Oh, Sonya is very low on health, however. So we should be able to finish her off. May die myself, though. We do take down Sonya. Kelthus now pursuing Tyrael, but I don't think he's going to continue to pursue with me around. So I'm just going to recall. There's absolutely no reason to die in that situation. So we'll just heal up here, and then we're going to head down to that tribute. 3 members of the enemy team are down. They're mostly back at their base defending. We should be able to pick up this tribute just fine. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy for a team to turn this game around late game, so that's why I just don't like to get too overconfident with these matches. I'm going to continue just to kind of come over here, try to find out if the enemy team's showing up for this at all. We'll grab the vision here. That'll really help to know if they're going to be coming for the boss, which I think they may be. They most likely are, but we should be able to take it down before they have an opportunity to contest. Our damage output is just way too great. Way too great. I'm not sure why we wouldn't just take our bruisers. Nope, not going to take our bruisers. So we'll go engage in the team fight here. It looks like Health is caught way out of position, is going to fall, and Zeratul's around here. There he is. Let's see if we can actually capture him. We do get trapped in the Void Prison, but Jaina is going to take him down. Diablo getting thrown in a counter Void Prison. Let's see. Let's just wait for him. Let's throw out the shield, which was really dumb because we can't kill Diablo with it. I really wanted to stop Sonya from spinning, but something body blocked me a little bit, so I was not able to get in that range. No, it ain't no thing, though. It really ain't no thing. And now our next tribute is up, and that whole time that they were out there engaging with us, the boss was making its way to the core. So certainly a good trade on our part, especially considering that we took down 2 of their heroes to our 1 that we lost. I would be down with picking up this bruiser camp here. Let's see if we can we want to try to stay out of vision. I think they may have seen me, but let's just hang out here. That's another thing that's often overlooked in this game. Yep, they definitely see Tyrael, though. Is vision. You want to try to stay out of the enemy's vision. Let's go ahead and work on Diablo as he is so low on health, and then we can kind of come over here and try to stop Sonya from doing too much damage. We didn't really get the chance to, but we'll come in here and we'll scare off the enemy Keltis a little bit. He does throw us up in the air in the middle of his business here, but I think we're going to be able to just finish this game right now. Yeah, there's no reason we can't win this game. There's absolutely no reason. Win. Come on, guys. Win the game. Let's pop our trait, kind of head over here. We have Indestructible as well. Right now, we'll just kind of pull all these minions back in here. Vala can try to defend all she wants, but it's just not going to happen. When it's this late in the game, it only takes you a few seconds to destroy a core. As you can see, I mean, those guys, they didn't even show up right away after the team wipe, and we still cleared out the core with plenty of time before that enemy team was respawning. And that's also, I know I've already mentioned it before, but that's why I can't stress enough that even if you're in the lead, if the game gets into late game, if you get to level 20 and your enemy team starts to catch up and they're almost level 20, all it takes is for them to win a couple team fights and they can win the game. They just have to plow down 1 fort, 1 keep, and they'll kill the core. Because with your whole team dead for 1 minute, it gives the enemy team ample amount of time to do some major destruction. Thankfully, we were able to win that match with our Johanna. We can take a look at the stats here. Our damage was fairly mediocre. The Burning Rage would have helped with that a little bit, I think. Our siege damage was kind of in the middle there. But honestly, these aren't bad numbers for Johanna. If you build her as a straight tank, you are not going to get much damage from her siege or hero-wise. And she can really shine some games. I guess it just depends. But the main thing about Johanna is she is really just a tank. I feel like she's fairly balanced, but the problem is some of the other tanks in the game are not balanced. So for a Nubarak, for example, he can tank hard, he can crowd control hard, he can do damage hard. Whereas Johanna, she can tank hard. You know, she could take a ton of damage, she can get into the mix, she can be great for peeling and starting engagements. But she isn't able to output a ton of burst damage. I mean, you saw when I hit that shield glare on enemies, even squishy enemies who are almost dead, it still didn't kill them because it just doesn't do that much damage. And out of all the talents, I mean, I've tried a bunch of different talents, tried building her straight for damage, and every time it just feels like you lose too much to gain so little damage. And you guys did all request that I go over more of an extensive review on the talents here, so why don't we do that since I kind of had a hard time keeping things straight during the match. Let's pull up her talents here. So for level 1, like I talked about, Reinforce might not have been a bad shot for that map just because of the Zeratul and the Vala. It really depends on how they built their characters as well. But what it does is basically when you use a basic ability, it'll grant a stack of block. You get 2 stacks of it. So it works pretty much exactly like block, but rather than gather passively, rather than gathering stacks passively, you get the stacks by using abilities. So I think this is probably a little bit better. It's like the Johanna version because you're often using your abilities. A lot of people go for this. I just don't feel like it it helps that much unless you're against a very heavy auto attack team. You know, if there's Vala, Jim Raynor, Zeratul, and the only reason I say Zeratul is because his most popular build right now is an auto attack build. Which blocking that could definitely save your life. So if you're going up against somebody like a Zeratul who looks like he's building for auto attacks, definitely take Reinforce. It's going to help you out. Otherwise, Knight Takes Pawn, I think, is a really good option. It just does so much more damage. It feels like Condemn actually does some damage to minion waves and mercenary camps. Without this, don't plan on staying in lane. Don't plan on really picking up mercenary camps. You can show up to tank the damage, but you're just not going to be outputting very much. Righteous Smash is actually one of the only talent on this strat I have not tried before. I would imagine it would help her mana issues a little bit, but in all reality, she's a tank. She's not a damage dealer. Mana is not as important as just self-sustaining herself is. Regeneration Master, as long as you are very adamant at picking up those regen globes, this is probably the best option for just being overall tanky. She can get very, very hard to kill when you stack Regeneration Master. Especially going into level 4 if you grab Amplified Healing. I think this is what I did with the build last time. If you don't pick up Regeneration Master, I wouldn't pick up Amplified Healing. Personally, I think Laws of Hope is just better. It's an instant heal. You get 20% of your health back over 4 seconds. Otherwise, the other options on here, increasing your punish damage, you know, that's extra damage, but you're missing out on a very life-saving heal to get that 50% extra damage on your punish. And then the other one, Eternal Retaliation, Condemn cooldown reduced per enemy hit. This can be kind of fun. It will drain your mana, so I would think that you could maybe go with the Righteous Smash to try to keep your mana up. But when you're working on like large enemy waves, so like on this Tomb of the Spider Queen, when you got 2 waves and the Spider Queen or the spiders coming down, you can pretty much just keep using this back to back until everything is dead. So this can be a very, very strong talent. But it's more strong in situations for laning and clearing stuff out in that situation. Otherwise, you know, there is Battle Momentum, which is going to reduce all your cooldowns. I just think that she attacks way too slow. So unless you have an Abathur that's giving you, you know, some auto attack speed, Battle Momentum just feels really underwhelming. I really like the Crusade Marches on. That would be my top tier choice in this bracket here because that trait saves your life so often. And being able to basically just make yourself unstoppable, you have no idea how valuable that is because enemies will use a whole bunch of their crowd control on you and then you pop your trait and it was all for nothing. Conviction, I've seen some people use this. You basically use your Condemn, gives you a little bit of movement speed so you can continue to pursue enemies or maybe pursue a different one. Sin's Expose, Shield Glare makes enemies take bonus damage. I've tried this. Well, this one here, yeah, no, this one here, I was thinking of a different one, but it just, they take 30 extra damage once, and that's pretty much it. It's a little underwhelming. All of her damage abilities are really underwhelming. So I would say the Crusade Marches on Battle Momentum and maybe Conviction. And Battle Momentum is really situational, in my opinion. Her 2 heroics here are Falling Sword and Blessed Shield. Falling Sword is a lot of fun. It's probably the more enjoyable heroic to use because you leap up in the air and then you get to land on top of somebody. But it really doesn't do that much damage unless you upgrade it at level 20. And the knockback just really, it doesn't do a whole lot in most situations. The Blessed Shield is by far the more superior heroic talent in most situations. If you're just playing Johanna in quick match, you're just having fun, you know, both of them are viable, both of them will work just fine. But Blessed Shield is going to be your best team fight setup because being able to stun 3 enemies like that, it's pretty useful, and it feels great using it because, like I said, you feel like Captain America just throwing that thing, doink doink doink. So yeah, this is the top tier choice, I would say. And I think overall, according to Hot Slogs, it is the top picked one as well. Level 13, Burning Rage. This one is the one I really like the most because you're Johanna, because you're always really close to enemies and minion waves or whatever. This just adds that extra damage to people around you. And so this really helps her damage quite a bit as long as you can stick to targets and stay in the middle of targets. Otherwise, hold your ground, increases Iron Skin shield, reduces the cooldown when broken. This one, I don't know. I mean, if you're taking a ton of fire, if you're taking a ton of damage, it might be okay. But most of the time that I've used my trait, I usually use it and the shield expires from the 4 seconds, not because they destroyed it. But this does increase the shield by 20%. So, I mean, if that shield isn't enough, if you feel like it just gets burned through really fast, this isn't too bad. But chances are, if your shield's getting burned through fast, it's probably from spell damage, which would make spell shield the better choice, which reduces ability damage by 50%. It can only trigger once every 30 seconds, but still, I mean, if you get hit by a flame strike and you triggered that, reducing a flame strike by 50% is life-saving for sure. Subdue is pretty good. It increases the punish slow to 80%, decaying over 3 seconds. However, the normal slow is 60%, so you're only getting a 20% slow increase through this. So as far as tiers, I mean, I like Burning Rage, Spell Shield, and then probably Subdue. Hold your ground could be, it could be all right, though. I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong necessarily in this situation. On that tier, I should say. Level 16, Holy Renewal. Shield Glare heals for each enemy hero hit. It doesn't heal for a lot. It heals for 100. I believe it scales, but it's just really not that much in comparison to how large her health pool is. I've noticed a lot of people do take it, and I think they take it because it sounds good in theory. But my experience is it's really, it's not worth not taking Blessed Hammer or Imposing Presence. Even Fanaticism, because Fanaticism really will help save your life, because when you pop your trait, anytime you take damage, you start running faster, so you kind of become like Lily, where when you're attacked, you start moving quicker, which makes it very difficult to catch you if you're on your last leg and you want to try to stay alive. Imposing Presence, you should be taking this anytime you're up against an auto attack heavy team comp. So, you know, if your enemy team has like a Vala, a Zeratul, you know, maybe a Sergeant Hammer, if they have a lot of really heavy auto attack heroes, this, Imposing Presence, and Reinforce the block are going to make it so hard for them to kill you. But Blessed Hammer, what it does, it just creates a spinning hammer. It just deals extra damage when you use your Condemn. So this one's just going to give you kind of that extra damage. I think it's a lot better than, like I said, Holy Renewal. And Fanaticism is strictly, you know, you want to try to stay alive even more. And not even stay alive, but actually get away or maybe even engage. I mean, if the movement speed is your thing, try it out. Otherwise, I would say Blessed Hammer and Imposing Presence are probably the top 2 choices that I look at in games. Level 20, here we are. So if you picked up the Falling Sword, Heaven's Fury, I would say you almost have to go for it, because this makes the heroic much more viable, in my opinion. You deal damage to whoever is below you before you drop down from the sky. And then Radiating Faith, basically you can stun all 5 targets. So this sets up for a big wombo combo type of deal. I don't think it's really worth it, though, in all honesty, because all 5 targets have to be close together. And there's just not a real good chance that you're going to get your money's worth out of this. You know, if you're playing competitively and you really know you're going to be on 5-on-5 team fights in close quarters, you could definitely give this a shot. But I'd say an everyday quick match, this is not something that you're going to find a lot of use in. Indestructible, this is probably the most, this one and Storm Shield are the 2 top most picked talents that I have seen. Indestructible, like I said, that's what we picked up. Instead of dying, you gain a shield with your entire health bar. So you have 5 seconds to get the heck out of whatever situation you're in, or get healed, or whatever, because there's no way they're going to be able to burst down your entire health pool at level 20 in 5 seconds. So the shield basically is giving you invulnerability for 5 seconds, but it's just not actual invulnerability. You just get a shield for your maximum health. And then Storm Shield, I mean, that's, you know, it's always a good talent, I guess, for team fights. If you're going on no deaths and you feel really confident in staying alive in your Johanna play, I would probably pick up Storm Shield, because that way you can keep your friends alive a little bit better versus just having the Indestructible as a safety backup. But either of these are really great talents. You know, I'd say go with whatever one you want. My final thoughts on Johanna is that, you know, like I said, she is a very, very strong tank, but she is not really that strong in crowd control, and she is definitely not very strong in damage. She kind of, to me, she kind of falls in line with Chen, which I'm really surprised that Chen isn't played all that much, because Johanna's still being used in tournaments, competitively, Hero League, the whole deal. So people really like her because she is a very good tank. She is hard to kill. She's good at engaging. But I don't see her as a top choice. I still feel like a Nubarak and Muradin are your two best tanks in the game right now. They're overwhelmingly good in the game. But compared to everybody else, compared to Diablo, who else? I mean, she's up there with ETC. ETC doesn't have as much survival. Hell, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. I personally think I would pick ETC over Johanna. The only reason I've been picking Johanna is because she is a new hero and I think she's fun to play, but I like ETC a little bit better, but the skill cap on Johanna is a little less than it is on ETC. So if you're not real comfortable with tanking, Johanna is a much easier hero to tank with, in my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I wasn't very energetic. I have just had a massive migraine for the last 2 days, so I had to try to tone it down. But we'll get out some more videos here this next week. Until next time.